Victorious, glorious V, the Guerrilla Economist. And I'm with my main man, El Cuco, where we give you the views and all the news and everything that's important to you. Check us out, roguenews.com. Follow us on Twitter at Real Rogue News, and Rogue News on every single podcasting app known to humanity, some of which are updated, some of which are not. Hey, don't be mad at us.
Don't judge.
Don't judge. We're just a three-man team. That's all we got, man. That's all we got. You know, we're doing this thing on a shoestring budget, folks. Anyway, with that being said, I want you guys to go to mycbdedibles.com, mycbdedibles.com. The link is in the description box. It is the purest, cleanest, most delicious, edible way of getting your CBD done inside of you today. And also, if you're into that vaping stuff and you drive a Subaru, you wear a beanie hat, and you have a fidget spinner, and you want to vape, well, get rid of all the garbage. Go to Clouds by Design, folks. The link is also there. You can get it right from My CBD Edibles. And they have very, very delicious flavors like mixed berry cereal, strawberry cheesecake, blueberry. I mean, you name it. It was all formulated by a Michelin star award-winning chef. You cannot beat it. Again, it is also the cleanest product CBD available. So when you go there, you buy from that. It's number one, it's the most effective way of getting your CBD better than anything else. You're going to get a safe product. It ain't going to kill you. And then you can get some of your edibles. And while you're enjoying this and the health benefits of it, you are going forward to helping this broadcast. So go there and make sure you buy and support us. A little bit of that kickback goes back to us. And also join the front line of the guerrillas, and all the guerrilla squad over there. You want the front line. Look, great message that I posted yesterday about what's happening with the crypto market, but you would not know it here unless you join over there. Like what the Joker said in The Dark Knight Rises, CJ. If you're good at something, don't do it for free. How was that, man?
That was killer, man. That was awesome.
Yeah. Let's put a smile on that face. Anyway. You want to know how I got these scars? Speaking of Joker, dude, you know Joker, the one with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
They have done over $1 billion already.
Crazy, man. It's
crazy. Dude, this was supposed to be a low budget, $50 million, low budget. No, the production studio is like, yeah, maybe you'll break even. Bro. $1 billion already. It is the number one highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, I didn't realize the director from the movies The Hangover was the one that produced it. It's like his first serious movie outside of comedy.
It's so good. It's so good. I want Todd Phillips to do the next Batman. You know, they're gonna ruin it. Like, you know who the next Batman's gonna be?
No, who?
Robert Pattinson.
I don't even know who that dude is.
Remember the Twilight movies?
Oh gosh, no way.
I have a little sister, and I remember growing up, she was all into this Twilight stuff. It was nauseating. And it's this big-headed, androgynous-looking soy boy. That's who they picked to play Batman, the Dark Knight himself. I'm not even going to bother. It was bad enough with Ben Affleck. Now, anyway.
I would like for them to leave the Joker alone for at least 2 more shows to map out his history and his undertakings and his efforts. I think there's a lot of play there. Let's count how many Batman Joker movies has there been. There was the original one with, was it Michael Keaton and not Robert De Niro, the little guy De Niro, the real short little guy that played the Joker back then, the Penguin. Oh no, that was the Penguin. The first Joker. Oh, Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson. But I think there's been a few. So I think that they should let the Joker ride for a little bit. I think
leave it alone.
American, huh?
I think they shouldn't even make a sequel. I think they should just leave it alone. Let it be this
dude,
iconic...
you know, they made so much money, they're not going to do that.
I know. You know, the rumors are they're going to make a sequel. I hope to God. You know, the sequel's already been done. It's called Heath Ledger. That was the sequel. You know, and Heath did a great job as you see with Joaquin Phoenix. You see the madness, creeping into him. right? You see the madness creeping into him. You see the embrace of the insanity. And you know the craziest part is, man, when I went to go see the Joker, that whole film was filmed in the Bronx. My you know, where my wife was growing up and whatnot, in her old neighborhood. That's dancing staircase where he was dancing.
Yeah, yeah.
She climbed that all the time, bro.
Wow, isn't that crazy?
Nuts. It's famous. You know, put the BX on the map, so to speak. That's cool, man. Pretty cool. But anyway, Siege, lots of stuff going on, brother. What is on your radar screen this morning, sir?
Well, you know, I think in part it's amazing the magnitude that captured me. I get it why this whole fake narrative with this whole fake impeachment and this whole thing. It's just getting pretty, you know, ridiculous. That granted, there were some procedural things I think that could have been done, but outside of, you know, someone try it's like this. It's like, hey, you know what? We want to find out the truth of the criminality if something happened with the United States in regards to the Biden family, but it's illegal in the method that you did it. It makes absolutely, you know, no sense, V, to me. And how many millions of dollars have we wasted on the entire Russiagate and now this impeachment thing? It's just getting a little bit crazy, bro. I think the United States as a whole, as far as our politicians, our politics, we are like the laughing stock of the world, bro. I mean,
it is a joke.
Dude, as a nation, do you realize how probably other nations look at us and how stupid our politicians are?
Yeah,
it's getting absurd. It truly
Did you see Adam Schiff cry? Did you see Schiff for Brains cry towards the end? He was like in tears. And for all the people that are watching around the world, man, nobody's watching. The ratings are so low. I think it was CBS has decided they're no longer going to view. They're no longer going to air the what's it called, the impeachment hearings. NBC is going to follow suit. Nobody dude. It's like the lowest. Nobody watches this crap, you know. And the whole thing is, it's like it's the most ridiculous thing, CJ. It's like, you know, they had the yesterday's Star Witness. Yeah, I was sitting in a noisy restaurant and I heard Ambassador Sonfield, whatever the guy's name is, right? Sonberg. You know, I heard him talk to President Trump. No, the phone was not on speakerphone. It was a noisy restaurant, but I could hear it through his earpiece. And then you have Fredo, aka Chris Cuomo of CNN fame, right? Chris Cuomo says, "Oh, yeah, if somebody was talking on the earpiece on the phone, you could clearly hear it, you know." And here he is in a quiet TV studio. And he calls his mom and has his cohort, his co-host, who's sitting right next to him, and asks her if she can hear his mother speak on the phone. And of course, he did that whole entire thing, backfired. Once again, Chris Cuomo has memed himself because nobody heard anything. Nobody heard anything. Because the thing with these smartphones, man, these speakers are so damn good that you're not going to hear much of anything. And most people, you know, carry, especially you know, most people carry around iPhones or whatnot or Samsungs. You're not going to hear anything. You know, dude, it was so ridiculous.
Right. Well, and then the other side of that token, people need to realize, or at least take a look at and consider, is the fact that if Trump had no faith in Barr, no faith in the intelligence agencies to appoint Barr to properly investigate, in particular, what happened with mishandling of U.S. funds and the embezzling, the corruption that occurred, where he felt that he had to appoint his own personal attorney, William Giuliani, not William, gosh darn it, Rudy Giuliani. I went to the jet, must have lifted too much weight today. I can't think. The long story short, I think that's very eye-opening as well, V, and I think that's a perspective that a whole lot of people don't talk about and consider, is the fact that let's take this and let's play this out. So major corruption with Ukraine, with the funds. We don't have to document the whole history. I think we all know pretty much what happened. And he goes to his intelligence agencies. He goes to the DOJ and says, "Hey, this is particular what happened. We need to understand this better, in part because I'm not going to be doling out millions and millions of more dollars if this is just going to go to corruption tied to United States, we need to evaluate this. And for whatever reason, Trump didn't feel comfortable that was going to be executed properly and be doled out. So that's when he had to get, Giuliani. And I think that was the procedural error. That was the error on part. Now, I think was it malice or anything like that? No, it's just someone wanting to seek the truth to hold these people accountable. It's no different than any procedural thing that like, for example, Hillary got away with, right? With the email server in her own bathroom. It's like, oh, I didn't know that I was supposed to be on a secure system. I didn't know that. It's a procedural thing. So,
hey, by the way, I heard the IG report is slowly starting to leak out. Some FBI agent got indicted yesterday on tampering with the 2016 documents that led to the FISA warrants and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He is right now being investigated.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah.
Something is happening. Something. I hope it snowballs, CJ.
Let's hope, because there's some things, I agree. The other day I listened to a podcast by Ron Paul, and I think during this times when the media is pumping this out and it's like the main narrative, and it's something that all you see is in your YouTube feed, your Twitter feeds, your Facebook feeds, is this constant barrage of what's happening with U.S. politics, and it's constantly happening like this, is when we have to start evaluating whether or not it's a distraction of some other things that are happening. So I think it's important we talk about a couple of things that did happen that people aren't talking about. And that's one, is that the Congress did renew the entire NSA massive surveillance state bill that was passed after 9/11 that was supposed to be temporal, and that was the mass surveillance that even landed, that they utilized to spy on the administration. And it was passed behind the scenes that no one is talking about. The other thing that we need to talk about as well, that I think is pretty eye-opening, and I fully disagree with this, is the fact that Trump did notify Congress and Senate that there are 3,000 troops. I have a friend who notified me on Facebook because I posted it, and his brother-in-law was one of those that was deployed to go to Saudi Arabia. So now we have 3,000 U.S. troops going to Saudi Arabia who funded 9/11. It's these things are happening that we can't take our eye off the ball, and we have to question why these things are occurring. And I think Ron Paul is right. I think behind the scenes, they're going to continue this narrative and push for this war with Iran. I personally think that Trump is the only person in place that's stopping us from this war with Iran, because I guarantee you, V, that if Pence was in office, we would have had this war by now. That fake attack
Pence
on
is a neocon evangelical idiot. That's what
we would have had this war by now. And I think Trump at heart, I think he is anti-war. I think he's doing his best to try to balance and appease people, everything. But, my gosh, that's, I have friends, and I know some of our listeners do, who lost their sons in Fallujah. Another son that was deployed, and she lost their only son as well. We just do not need to put one more U.S. military personnel in harm's way at all, V. It's something I don't believe in. I don't support. It's my core principles that there's got to be a better way to resolve some of these issues other than these escalations in these war, V. And I just don't get it. So these things are happening, and I think that like no one is talking about them, V. And I think it's important that we recognize that.
Yeah, and it continues to build, man. They've also sent the B-1B bombers over there to Saudi Arabia, as well as the 3,000 troops. And I think Vladimir Putin's like, are they going to fight someone or what? And it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that rolls out. Because look, man, is it posturing? Possibly. Is it to keep things moving? Possibly. Is it to continued bluster and this imaginary threat? Because my thing is this: if you haven't gotten a shot off against Iran in the last 30 years that this has been going on, Siege, over 30 some odd years at this point, what makes these fools think they're going to do it now? When a Pentagon report came out 2 weeks ago, CJ, saying that Iran has the most advanced missiles in the Middle East. That is very impressed by the Pentagon's very impressed by it. Now the Pentagon, and this is how I know they're really not, even though there's all the war hawks, all the neocons, all the idiots that haven't shot a water gun or been in a fist fight in their entire life, who are itching to go to war, especially the John Boltons of this world, the maniacal mustache, who are itching to go to war. The idiots in the State Department, the idiots in some morons in the DOD. These guys who want to go to war. They think they can win a war against Iran. They think the Iran is going to be a walkover like Iraq, and Iraq wasn't a walkover. Yes, it never was. It's a disaster. Libya turned out to be a disaster. And if they think that they're going to go into Iran in a direct frontal assault, they have another thing coming to them. Every single U.S. warship will be sunk in the Strait of Hormuz. That is a guaranteed, my friend. That is a guaranteed. Every single one of them. There is no defense that we have against the latest generation anti-ship missiles that are shore-based that bristle the entire Strait of Hormuz. And the fact that the Iranians have the S-300, which they will be firing those things off like Roman candles. And they will be bringing down even quote-unquote stealth airplanes. This is why I think it's a bluster. Like the time when they moved during the whole Syria campaign, when it was in Turkey, I believe they moved a whole bunch of F-22s into Turkey, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna have a combat air patrol, and we're gonna fly these F-22s over Turkey or into Syria, and this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden we hear that, after a few days, the F-22s turned around and they're shipped back to Holloman Air Force Base. What happened? Well, it just so happened that, a word came out that the Russians were moving S-300 missile batteries into the area, and the venerable, lethal, absolutely deadly Su-35 super flanker. And that was it. They don't want. Look, man. I've been saying this forever. People who think we have the best hardware in the world, you are smoking a crack pipe served to you by the military incompetent complex. You're smoking. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. One of the greatest things we have in this country is not the greatest military hardware. One of the greatest things we have is the world's greatest marketing. God dang it, CJ. We know how to market shit. We really do. We really do.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, I completely agree. It's just been, taken over by corporate special interest, and, how they can ramp up those costs and get the United States government to fund those things. And you're correct. It's been a disaster the past 5, to 10 years, the lack of technology. And let's hope that, there are some things that we need to keep an eye on. We also know that the State Department reversed a policy that I think has been in place at least the last 25, 30 years, maybe even more. And that's regarding the development of the West Bank in Israel. Pompeo announced that they're going to reverse that they now support that. And
settlements in the West Bank are now 100% legal. And
we know that in part, like, again, kind of posturing for that war that because let's face it, Pompeo's CIA. It's in his blood.
Pompous is CIA.
Yeah. So they're doing these things, saber rattle and wanting that escalation. And the last thing too, Via, that is, I don't know how desperate he will get or even scary, who comes in behind him. And that's the fact that they did finally announce the indictment of Netanyahu yesterday. So all these things are coming into place, and we just got just kind of keep our eye on those things that are happening, that are so important. Because what I got a funny suspicion, that while everyone's so captivated, we have this national attention on this whole bogus impeachment thing that's going on. Everyone's plugged in, and everyone it's in our news stream that boom, there's some type of event, something unfolds, it happens, and there's a war that starts, and no one is paying attention to it. So, again, those are just some things that have been on my radar that just trying to understand what specifically is happening. I don't know whether Netanyahu will be forced to resign. There was some talk, I guess, that there was going to be another election because there was no no determination. I need to read more because I'm not quite understanding what specifically is going on there.
I'm just texting my buddy in Israel right now. This is somebody who's served in the defense industry in Israel, or the defense, part of the military. And I just texted him right now. Your thoughts on Netanyahu's indictment? And I'm texting him right now. Do you want to come on the show and share? And he's got to be very careful because I don't want his voice to be recognized because the Israelis monitor everything. But he was telling me on the ground stuff of what's happening with many of the shenanigans that are happening with. Here we go. This is the last thing he's told me back on September the 18th. He said the Israeli elections do-over has been completed. Bibi tied with another party, and there is a higher chance that there will be a unity coalition for both right and left-wing parties. The major left-wing party has reported to surpass Bibi. They could form a unity government with Labor, the Jewish Arab Socialist Party, and 3 Arab parties, and a center-right party, and they can form a coalition. So that was the last I said, and he's been talking about this to me for months now, over years, of all the shenanigans that's been happening with Israel and the Israeli politics, because he himself is a libertarian, conservative. Mm-hmm. He's not one of these nut jobs, and he does not like Netanyahu and their crazy, basically their version of a neocon, which is called a Zionist. And he's not down with that. So
yeah, but who feels that? If who comes back in and
yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to ask him, because he mentioned this guy's name.
I've heard that this guy's even more radical than what Netanyahu is. That's
no. There's a guy. Yeah, there's another guy who was telling me super popular. That's why I asked him about this. Super popular. This guy is somebody who is libertarian. He wants to get Israel out of it's business as usual for the last several years. This war footing, this perpetual war footing that Israel's always been on, and I want Israel to get out of that. I don't think it's healthy for them in the long run. They've got a lot of smart, talented people. I mean, God, man. I mean, some of the most brightest minds I've ever met in my life came out of Israel. I have business partners that have come out of Israel. Some of the most brilliant guys I've ever met. They kick ass in fintech and in bioengineering. I mean, they do a lot of great stuff, and it's better for them to have an economic model where they have a meaningful. This is what the Middle East needs. The Middle East needs meaningful economic trade and commerce with everybody. Where I don't want to see you annihilated because you know why? I profit from you. I don't want to see you annihilated because I make you and I do a great deal of business together. Why would I want to see you destroyed? Why do I want to see you pushed into the sea? And you don't want to see me annihilated because you make a profit off of me as well. Everybody has these mutually beneficial. Yeah, he just texted me back. He's busy at the moment. He'll get back to me on that.
B, this is going to be a huge pivot from this discussion, but there's something funny that I don't know if you watched it yet, but did you see where Musk and Tesla revealed their pickup truck? Did you watch that video?
Dude, yeah, I saw it. The design is incredibly weird.
No, it's like the ugliest thing ever. I think they're doing it just
very unimaginative.
Stock. I think they're doing it just. No, that truck is like the ugliest. I wouldn't pay. You couldn't give me. You would not. I wouldn't even accept that truck if you gave it to me. It's that ugly. And then did you see the video where when they did the announcement and they're advertising it?
The armored glass and it shattered.
Yeah, he threw a steel ball out of the glass shattered. They did it twice and it shattered both times. Yeah. I think this is just a whole stock pump thing.
It could be because it is a fugly truck, absolutely fugly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Here's the thing: capability wise, on paper, it looks impressive. I mean, if you never showed me the design and you tell me it's got rolled stainless steel, it's got independent suspension, it's a unibody design, it maximizes so much on space, it's got supposedly a 500-mile range. I'm like, that's pretty damn impressive. That's 0 to 60. I mean, these are like incredible out there numbers. Like, my question, it sounds incredible. This is what happens with Tesla. Tesla is not a car company. It is a carbon credit trading company. That's where they make their money. They make their money on carbon trading. Okay? They lose money on every single car they sell. But if they could pump a stock, there it is. Yeah, it's armored glass.
Yeah, I guess Musk was like, "What the fuck just did?" Pardon my language. What the fuck just happened?
You do it again, man. Okay, he's gonna do it again. Watch this.
Let's do the back window. It's supposed to be stronger. Watch.
Right, let's do the back window. Go ahead. Okay, as hard as you can. Go ahead.
I promise.
Yes, it's armored glass.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Oh god! It was anyway. Oh, crazy.
It's a stock. It's a stock pump.
I was listening to these analysts, and they're like, this is really a dynamic vision, and can this design transform the pickup truck industry that has been the same for the past 100 years? I'm like, I doubt it. You show this to a cowboy in Texas or Oklahoma, they're gonna laugh this thing off. There's no way this thing is. You don't know how the capacity. Definitely, it's not a 1-ton pickup truck. That thing's not gonna haul. What's that gonna haul? So. Anyway, I thought that was just hilarious.
Yeah, I wonder how heavy the damn thing is. I wonder how damn heavy it is. It's probably like 8,000 pounds, man. It has to be. I mean, it's rolled stainless steel. When you have the Ford F-150, which is trying to go lighter by having complete aluminum body, these idiots decided to make a 9mm thick rolled stainless steel. And they supposedly gave it a 14,000 pound towing rating. Supposedly 1,000-pound bed rating, where you could fold back the bed, and it looks like some sort of a polygon that you would see on a 1990s video game console. It's just so dude. There's like no thought given to the design. It really isn't.
I think this is what happened. He's like, hey, we need something in our pipeline to build our stock up. I think what they did was they actually designed this. For their SpaceX program, this was going to be a mooner landing vehicle, and they instead of having to pay the reengineering and the design, they just flipped it to the Tesla pickup truck V.
That's what it is, man.
Anyway, I'm sorry if you're a Tesla driver, I get it, but
my whole thing is, look. I mean, the Model S is a beautiful car. I mean, I like the Model S. It looks great. We took a test drive on when we were vacationing in Sarasota, Florida. It was great. The acceleration was blistering. The sales guy had my wife put it in ludicrous mode, and she hit the throttle. I mean, it was literally like being catapulted, from an aircraft carrier deck. That's literally what the feeling you got. It was good. Is it as fast as my 750 horsepower M5? No. Would I still take my gas-powered M5? Yes. Why? Because I could just quickly, within 30 seconds, fill up a tank of gas and be on my way, and still have a 400-some-odd mile range per tank. So it's just like, it's just, dude, I'm telling you, it's everybody's sleeping on hydrogen. Hydrogen is the future. It's not going to be this electric crap. It really isn't. It's too finicky.
One of our listeners just posted, that thing looks worse than anything from the A-Team TV show. I agree.
It looked like, you know what it looks like?
Was it Doc or what was the guy that would design stuff for them? Was that in that show, the A-Team? Didn't they have somebody with engineer stuff for them or something like that they needed for a special mission? It was a special mission vehicle.
There we go.
Maybe he just took it off the set of the A-Team.
Okay. Some of my favorite guys from the UK is Top Gear. I grew up watching Jeremy Clarkson. I grew up. I mean, I spent most of my formative years in the early aughts watching Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May. I love those guys. I love Top Gear. I don't like the current Top Gear, and I followed these guys when they went over to the Grant, and they came out with their own program called the Grand Tour. And my little kiddo grew up watching Top Gear as well, so there's a tradition there. So Elon's truck. And because the Top Gear guys made a electric powered vehicle, it's a truck, and I'm going to show it to you. Okay, this is called the Eagle Eye Hammerhead Thunder Thrust.
Okay, let's see it. Let me stop sharing the Thunder Thrust.
The Eagle Eye Hammerhead Thunder. Let me get the video up. Okay, let me see if I can just put this video up. It is. Well,
BMW is working on an electric car. You saw that, right?
They're coming out with a whole line, man. And the whole thing, they're kind of abandoning it, and Toyota's doing the same thing, so is Honda. because they're starting to realize no one has figured out how to make money off of electric vehicles. You know, no one has.
I get tripped out every time I'm sitting in these newer vehicles. Like before they hit the gas pedal, it starts back up again. Have you witnessed this? I've like every vehicle I pull up to lights anymore, the vehicle turns on and it gets going again because it idles in electric, I guess, and then whenever they push the gas, it flips back on the ignition. It's just crazy. I'm like, I wouldn't want to hear that every single time I'm at a stoplight to hear my vehicle restart again. I mean, it's a real subtle, huh?
Yeah.
It's a real subtle sound, but that would drive me nuts.
I hate it, dude. I have that mode on my car. I'm like, what is the point of it? And they're like, oh, it's that's for saving fuel. And I'm like, saving fuel. My whole thing is like, what's it going to save? A teaspoon? It's stupid. I have that mode on my car. I'm like, this makes no sense. I have here it is. I have a V8 powered twin turbo. What fuel am I saving? My average mile per gallon around town is maybe 13 to 14 miles per gallon. But I'm not buying that car for fuel economy. It's ridiculous. So let me. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I stopped sharing my screen. If you want to share it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it right now. All right, guys. Elon Musk's vehicle, his Cybertruck, he would say, "Oh, it was inspired. It was inspired." Okay, by Blade Runner and the future. No, I think Elon's inspiration was Top Gear when they built the Eagle Eye Thunder Thrust. Here it is. There it is. Do you see it?
Oh,
there it is.
It looks pretty
close. That's the Tesla electric truck.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god. There it is. If I can only share audio, these guys are so funny.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Hilarious.
That's Tesla's inspiration.
That's your competition right there.
That's it. And he's got a screen door from here.
And you can blind cars that are coming at you because of the reflection on that window.
Exactly. See, in the zombie apocalypse, CJ, when it all comes to a head, you want to be in something like this. It's all electric. It's put together with some stainless steel, CJ.
Stainless
steel. I'm sure you could take a sledgehammer to it, just like the Tesla one. And I think the glass they use in this one's probably just as bulletproof. Oh my god!
I like it.
Unreal.
I like it.
Unreal. Anyway, CJ, on other news, on a more serious note, we have some information that the latest probe from the master prober himself, what is his name again? Durham, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Durham probe has expanded. It expands to the Pentagon office that contracted the one and only useless piece of crap spy, Stephen Halper. Or Stefan Halper. Justice Department prosecutor U.S. Attorney John Durham is questioning personnel connected to the Pentagon's Office of Net Assessment, which awarded the multiple contracts to FBI informant Stefan Halper. Halper, who was informing the Bureau on Trump campaign advisors, is a central figure in the FBI's original investigation into President Trump's 2016 campaign. These latest developments reveal that the expansion of the nature of what is now a Justice Department criminal probe into the FBI's investigation into the Trump campaign. The revelation also comes on the heels of the DOJ Inspector General's Michael Horowitz report regarding the Bureau's investigation into Trump's campaign in Russia. Senator Lindsey Graham announced on Fox News that Sean Hannity Wednesday night that the lengthy investigative report will be seen to the public on December 9th. So we're all waiting for this report, CJ. We're all waiting for this report. I hope it's I hope the report has teeth. I hope people get indicted, and I hope it's not another fluff piece and nobody goes to jail. Siege.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or we end up getting the two security guards that were supposed to be watching Epstein and instead of the real criminality of that whole thing, right?
Oh yeah, because it's the two security guards because they weren't watching Epstein. That's how Epstein hung himself he hung himself, man. He tied himself to a bedpost, and the bedpost was 9 inches off the ground, and he hung himself.
Or maybe they'll get us the mail carrier that delivered the FISA. That maybe they can investigate him too.
He clearly is the one responsible, the mail courier. That's who it was.
Oh, hilarious.
And on we go, my friend. On and on we go. But anyway, what else is on your radar, brother?
It's the weekend, and right now I think in part with monitoring with the stocks, we came close to that. What did we get to 28,000 right on the Dow?
Yep.
So we almost. I keep watching every day. Watch to see if we're gonna get to that 29 kV, so that way we can have your party.
How many people want to join the live online Dow 29K party with V and CJ? It's going to be our boxed wine and champagne party. Only the cheapest boxed wine is allowed, folks. So, or you could have a beer, either top quality beer or the lowest quality boxed wine. The choice is yours. And we'll have a little online party to celebrate, and it'll be quite fun.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, we're getting close, man. We're getting close to that magic 29,000 number, and we'll hit it. We're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit over 30,000, no doubt. Anyway, Steve, that brings us to the end of the show, bro. I think everything else on a much wait and see period at this point. You got Bridgewater out there. Ray Dalio out there saying that the market will crash by March. Ray, you're wrong, and all these guys going on these old economic models just don't get it. They just don't get it. I'm gonna break down. I'm onto something. I'm onto figuring out exactly what the hell's really going on with the economy, and I definitely got some theories that I want to put out there, and I'm going to be sharing with. So, you guys want to really delve into the the meat of that, or you want to know know what those theories are in advance? Hey, join the Patreon. It's right there. Join the Patreon. And also check out mycbdedibles.com. If you want the best in CBDs, go to mycbdedibles.com and get it. And yeah, folks, I think I think there's something happening here. I think there's a lot of things happening, but I think what's happening with the economy in general, I'm calling it a molting process. And I was having a talk with a partner of mine. I said, listen, man, I think the economy is going through a molting process. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, you're going through that cocoon stage where you're transforming from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And what is happening is that the physical economy, and I've said this so many times, CJ, I don't know how many years at this point, I said that the physical economy and the digital economy are two different things. What's happening in Wall Street has no bearing of what's happening to the physical economy. The physical economy is dying a death of 1,000 cuts. The physical economy is completely different. And I'm starting to see a complete split, a complete divorcing between the physical economy and the digital economy and the fundamentals that govern each. We're in a whole new world, Siege.
Mm-hmm.
A whole new world.
Yeah, we sure are, V. Things are changing fast, and we have to keep our pulse on it for sure.
Yep. And with that being said, folks, we're at the end of the show. This is yours truly, the Gorilla. He is the producer, and we are over and out.